Hey, what is up you guys? So in this video I'm going to show you my new current favorite way to fade, and this does change from time to time, but here is my current favorite. And if you guys can do me a quick favor before we get started, you can just quickly hit that like button. It's going to help me out a lot, and just comment anything down below, just literally anything. And with that said, let's begin. So right now I'm just debulking the sides. I believe this is a number 4, and yes, the hair was still wet. I don't recommend using the clipper when it's still wet, but it saves time on drying, so I went ahead and did that. Now for our main length, we're going to be using a number 2 guard just to create a nice surface for us to work on, and this is going to be the highest length that we're going to end off at. So I just want you guys to notice that I'm going straight up with the clipper, and you can see the weight at the very top. I leave that there intentionally, and it's always good to have it there just as a quick buffer. So for mid fades, I like to start my line about a ½ inch above the ear, and we're just gonna do this all around the head. And guys, don't spend too much time on this process. It's not really that important. Just get it done and quickly bald out the sides. So now we're gonna bald out the sides with the shaver. This is not necessary, but it still is important for bald fades, as it will create a greater transition from light to darkness. So now with no guard and the lever all the way pulled down, we're gonna go up about ½ an inch just to create our first guideline. So what you want to do now is slowly close the lever, which you're pulling the lever upwards, and you're just gonna hit that line again until it slowly fades out. So each time you do it, slowly close the lever a little bit until the line's fully faded. And I find that a lot of people worry about creating a line there that they can't get out. It's not that hard. Just go back in with your trimmer and then kind of go higher with the line, and if that still does not get it out, and go back in with your shaver and kind of tap downwards at it. There shouldn't be any fear of creating a line that you can't get out. So right now we're just going back with the number 2, but this time all the way closed, and then kind of cleaning up our working area just a little bit more. So now we have our number 1 guard all the way open, and we are gonna be taking this about an inch up, but at the same time we are going straight up, trying to blend this in with the number 2 all the way closed. And if you can see, I'm never digging inwards with my clipper. It's always straight upwards and never right against the scalp. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to never use the clipper all the way pushed up against the scalp. Only do that when you feel like you need to cut a little bit closer. So right now we have the same number 1 guard, but now the lever is pulled all the way up, which is closed, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing. We're blending out the line, but we're not going past the 1.5 that we just worked on. So after that is done, we're gonna jump to our next guard down, which is the half guard, and we're gonna start all the way open, and we're gonna slowly blend out that dark line. So after the open, we're gonna slowly close it until it's all the way closed, and that should remove the dark line completely. And I want you guys to pay attention to how I'm using this clipper, because it's super important. Look at how much corners I'm using compared to the full blade. I would say about 80% of the time I'm only using the corner, unless I'm working on a fatter surface that I need to get rid of the darkness. And don't be afraid to go over what you have worked on. Say when you're using the number 1 guard and now you're using the half, don't be afraid to go past where you previously worked on. So this is our final steps in terms of the fade before we start detailing. We have our 1.5 guard to really help tackle that darkness at the top, and should bring everything nicely together before we do the small detail work. And if you guys know me, this is my favorite thing to do in almost every single haircut. This is a scissor over comb with the texturizing shears. This really helps softens everything up and brings everything back together. And guys, when using the texturizing shears doing this, you really don't need to pay much attention at all. You just hack at it. It's honestly not that hard. Just try it. Yeah, so there's that tiny dark area at the front of his head. I'm gonna eventually get rid of that, as you see I'm doing now. So everything I'm doing now is all detail work. Just look at the fade, see how the transition is, and then go back to whichever guard you need and kind of work on it. And at this point, you pretty much only want to use the corners of your clippers for the detail work, unless it's really not cutting at all and you just want to use the full blade. So now you just want to line up the C cup that he has. I like to keep it very natural. I never like to push it back too much, but you can if you want, but it's just not my style. And just keep it simple, follow the natural hairline and make it look nice and sharp. And guys, what separates a good fade from a bad fade? It's all in the detail work that you see I'm doing here. And the actual fade process at the beginning is not that important, as there's so many ways that you can achieve this, but when it comes to it, it's all in the detail work. So I didn't touch the top at all, as my client wanted to leave the top, but right now I'm just gonna blow dry and style his hair. So as I'm styling his hair, just pay attention to the shape of his head. As you can see, it's nice and squared up on both sides and on the top, and that's exactly what you want to achieve in majority of the men's haircuts. Have a look at that quick before of what he came in with, and have a look at the after. Sheesh. And you can see how much he's loving the haircut. By the way, he's naughty. And that's it for the video, guys, and please subscribe for more content to come, and I appreciate everyone watching, and have a good one. See you guys next time.